Okay, we should be going live. If you're seeing me and I'm just looking around aimlessly, it's because whenever I go live, because I'm now feeding via EV Mux, because in case people want to join in the chat, I'm always a little bit unsure over if I am actually live or not. So I'm just trying to check that everything feeds through. And I think it is feeding through. All right, everyone, I am now live. Hey, how you doing? I'm in my room. I'm using EV Mux to stream to YouTube to stream back out to you. So there's always like a little bit of a delay reaction with me knowing am I actually live or not. But friendly girl, great to have you here. Mia, John, good to see you here. Ground pets, everyone. What's the biggest issues of the day? Hey, John B. What's the biggest issues? Surprisingly, today I haven't got any major issues. So far, it's been a very, I've been working very hard over the weekend with updating the live, with updating the Learn website. I can't even get my words out. With updating the Elemental website course. So that's been very heavy going. I think yesterday I think I worked non-stop from about 9 in the morning until about 11:30 at night. Obviously, the odd break here or there to grab something to eat, to check Raheem was all right, but it was a very, very heavy going day. Right, I'm just going to post in a message over here. If anyone wants to join on the live chat, you can do. Yeah, you can. Oh, I just trimmed, John. I just trimmed. I'm very lazy when it comes to trimming. I'm very lazy. And sometimes, hey, Paul, sometimes, I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, the stubble is getting a little bit big now. It's now chafing my fingers when I rub my hands. Hope you're doing all right, Mia. How's the pets? How's all the animals? How's Lena? So if anyone wants to join on the live chat, the link is there for you to join in. And of course, don't forget, if you haven't signed up to our let me just do this properly. Is this even working? I don't even know if what I'm doing here is working right now. Here we go. The Elemental website course, this Saturday, the offer ends. So on the 30th of September, the boost offer where you get an extra 25% off ends. It will never be repeated. We will have some discounts in the future, the odd, like, here's a coupon, but it will never, ever go to 25%, right? That 25% one, that ends on Saturday. But if anyone does want to join the live chat, you've got the link over there. I'll post it in again. Please feel free to click it. Come along. We can have a bit of a. Ah, I can see you, John. I'm about to let John in. I'm letting John in. I'm going to let John in. So John is finally.
Hello, folks.
We've got John finally. The thing is, though, John doesn't even live that majorly far from me, do you? You're not that far, but it's like.
I don't live far away. I know roughly where Imran lives. It's a scary thought, isn't it?
It
I
is.
regularly go over to Leicester. And yes, you get this picture of Imran in his tower of computers with thousands of websites. There's the thought for the day.
It is. It is. How are you? Are you in your car?
I'm in a van. I travel around quite a bit, which is quite nice. I'm not always sat behind a computer. But I think one of the great things, and here's the thing I wanted to come up and say is, check out all those videos Imran has created. There's stacks of them, and if you can get through all of them, you are going to be so well informed, folks. That's all I'm going to say on that score.
Well, so the Elemental website course, I'm now going to plan another extra page, which is part of the course, which you get, which is now going to say, if you want to know, if you really want to understand like global colors and fonts and typography in more detail, like the root HTML, this is the video you need to watch. So I'm now going to trawl through. I think I've got over 1,400 videos at the moment. I'm going to trawl through and find the best ones and kind of stick them in one place. Now, there's a question come on here. Have I ever tackled has any, so someone's got a question, John B, about API, and they go, never experienced adding something with an API on my website yet. Okay, right. This is actually quite a simple one, John. So in Elementor, if you go to the integrations tab, I think it is, if you've got any API for MailerLite, MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, Recapture, you can drop it in there. If, however, you're using, like, say, WooCommerce, and you've got an Amazon fulfillment center, they will also give you a code. And again, it's the same thing. You go into WooCommerce, in the settings tab, it says integrations. The one you normally see is Max Mind for geographical location, but you kind of add it in there. And I can tell you now, any company that says, here's the API, they will know what you need to do to WordPress. So just ask them. If they haven't made it clear, just say, I've got a WordPress website. Where do I put this? And they will quite
And
happily tell you.
you can also generally check the help sections, and there are even videos on how to add those secret and those keys to different things. So if you're dealing with, say Fluent CRM or something like that,
Yeah.
mail shots or whatever, you can interconnect all these things together that makes the user experience better. And in terms of what Mia asks, well, I've built one or two websites, never regarded myself as an expert, and then got a lecture off Imran that actually I knew a little bit.
Do you know what, though? I mean, I can honestly say, though, that whenever a client, yes, similar to a short code, John B, in a way, but you don't drop it onto your page. That's the thing to understand. The short codes, just to put that on screen, the short code you would just drop in and it will then feed through. The API normally goes in the back end. It's not even done as a code snippet. But again, if you're unsure, like John just said, check out the documentation, the support forum, or just chuck them an email, because you will not be the first person to ask them, well, how do I add this to WordPress? Okay, there will be loads of people that do that. What you do have to check, though, is that if you are using a third-party solution, have they actually stated somewhere that it does integrate with WordPress? Don't buy something or let your client buy something assuming it will feed through, because they might turn around and go, yeah, you can do it, but now you got to go and use another third-party solution to get it in. A great example I'll give you is Presto Player. So Adam for WP Crafter, he pushed it out telling everyone, you can put videos on and they will be secure. Later on, I found out to get it secure, you have to go through Bunny CDN. Now, Bunny CDN is cheap, but if you've ever used Bunny CDN, I like it and I don't like it. I like it because it is really cheap, but it is so complex. Have you used it, John? You got to go in, you got to set up this, then you got to set something else up, then you got to set up this. And it's like, oh, it takes forever. And uploading to Bunny CDN is a nightmare. It drags. So I don't use Presto Player now because I felt cheated. I'm going to be honest with you, I felt cheated by it.
I remember Paul promoting Bunny CDN a while back, Paul Charlton of
Yeah.
WP Tuts. And to some degree, yeah, I agree. I've got a couple of people who actually use it. That's great. But I think it's a personal preference. And I think what you highlighted the other day with the video really helps to explain some
Yeah.
of the issues there. I'll let you in at the secret, folks. What actually got me watching Imran's videos? Now, I've been following Imran for a while. Honestly, I've been following him for quite a while. We've actually messaged each other on various things. But one of the things he did was he looked at Forminator Pro from a forms side of things, and I used it, and I can tell you the exact video. You can search for it. He did on the a calculator on weights for a building firm in Lincoln,
Concrete.
which is where I'm
That's right.
based.
Yes, the concrete installation firm. Yes.
So if you haven't looked at that and you're looking for a short code option, look at what Imran's done on that particular video. On some of the group messages, I occasionally share one of Imran's videos from some time back, because I think he creates so many videos, it's actually worthwhile looking back at his library of content.
Here we go. We're letting in Jonathan as well. How you
Yeah,
doing?
mate.
Have you grabbed your mug, mate?
I have. I got my dad cup.
Is that is that is that is that painted behind you? Is that
Yeah, I done it. Yeah, I painted that, buddy.
do you know what I love I'm one of those people that sometimes sits there watching videos of people painting stuff like that, and
It
it's
took me ages. I'm not gonna
yeah,
lie.
It's therapeutic, but it is also nerve-wracking because I feel like I don't think I could pull it off. I feel like if I tried that, as I pulled the tape off, I'd rip off the plaster underneath, and then you end up repairing it. So I think I would be. I don't think I'll be very reliable at it.
I'll let you into a little secret. Well, that one got done last. My one's upstairs. I stuck my little girl's room, so I've done a rainbow effect. And my room, I did like a square effect, and this was just a good look.
Ah, I'm so glad you got it done, Bo. Yeah. So I'll tell you what I'm doing this week, and I'll let you guys tell me what you're planning on this week. And doesn't that it can be web related or non-web related. I'm obviously updating the course. Got a client where I've just got to feed back to them that the content they've given me is ultra garbage and I need them to rethink it. I'm not going to work with them until they actually sort out what they're doing. And the third thing I've got to do is kind of, I'm planning on redecorating again. I really am. I'm feeling like I went light, but I'm now not sure. I might go dark, but I might now
Keep
go.
it. I
I
like
might
it.
I might go to timber slats, and the reason being is I find the lights don't rebound very well. Do you know my problem? I can't sit still. I continuously go, oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. Oh, I want this a bit. So we'll see where we go with this. John Fairest, what's your plans for this week?
Well, I am currently redeveloping one of my sites and using digital contracts. So I'm not sending out the proposals. I'm actually doing pre-packaged ones, which is going to be different.
Okay.
I've got one customer's approached me and asked me to create 5 subdomain websites across the country for them. So I think that's going to keep me relatively busy. And the other thing really is I've got to catch up on some of Imran's videos because I keep on saying I'll try and digest a few.
I can tell you now, the one I put out earlier today with where say you wanted to use your post with custom fields as a loop grid with a picture of the food. I really like that, but it's what I do tomorrow. I'm not going to tell you all, but I've done something with that tomorrow, and I feel like it takes dynamic hero banners another level. And I don't know why I never thought of it before, but I think it's a really clever idea. And obviously I put out a video today which was just impulse about Skelemental. So Verdi
Yeah,
mentioned
I
someone.
watched that.
Yeah, Verdi mentioned someone, was it yesterday? I think it was. And I've actually got in touch with the creator, and I've actually said to them, I would love to bring him into the Web Squadron fold. So, and I want to support them. So I've said to him, but he's a young lad. He's at university. He doesn't have a lot of time. But I've told him, keep in touch. I would love to support you. And I've told him, get that donate button on, because you've done all this for free, and everyone's gonna love you, but that's all it will be. So until like someone steals your idea, why don't you go and make a little bit of extra money for yourself? He lives in Bangladesh. He's at university. The economies of scale over there. I mean, for us, right? I mean, like, just to put it in, just to give you an idea, $100 over there would be like a month's worth of rent, even more. And that's so I
Wow.
felt like you've got to get that donate. And I hope by me doing the video, it kickstarts him against it. But yeah, have you seen it, Jonathan?
I
Have you been
did.
to
I
his site?
saw it, and then obviously you were going live, so I watched a little bit ACF after that one. But going back to original, what you're saying, it's phenomenal. It's like 100+ different templates.
It's huge.
It's well, if not, oh, I only saw your video. I've not been to the site. There's probably like 1,000. I
There,
was looking at you, like there's loads. You could probably get a client not know how to build a site and just take his stuff and make website from his stuff.
exactly. Yeah. Oh, we've lost Jonathan, so I'll just remove him until he returns. Not Jonathan. We've lost John until he returns. I hope he's all right. I hope he wasn't driving at the time while he was looking at us. Um, but I would say that with Skelemental, I have fed back to him. I have said to him that what you've done is really good. One thing he has done, which isn't a major problem, is he has overused containers a little bit.
I noticed.
Yeah, and so that example I picked, that was actually intentional to point out that if you do the wrap and all of that with your row, you didn't need to have the buttons in another container. They could have just sat there. But I feel like that's a learning curve. But even though he's done that, for any one of us to go just put the button out is like seconds, right? But the great thing is that you could have a client, like you said, and you could take screenshots because you wouldn't take them to Skelementor because you want to charge them money for building the entire. But you could take and go, well, look, here's 6 different styles. Which one do you like? And if they go, oh, I like that, your job is now like miles easier.
Copy paste, done, done, done.
And what I really and what's really funny is about 3 days ago, I was having a conversation with Artif and a few others about how I'm not a massive fan of the the elemental templates that you can get,
The
and
rubbish.
also the blocks you can get, and also from other places, Template Monster, Invato, all these places. The trouble is though, you see a really amazing template, and you go, "Oh my god, this is brilliant." But in actual fact, you're only liking it because of the images and the colors. But when you put
It's like a house. You walk into
yeah,
a house, and
yeah,
it's a blank surface. Or you look at it's like I'm gonna talk 2 seconds a bit about myself.
yeah,
So
go on.
I've looked on the websites and I'm not very good. So I come across you, watch lots of videos, and obviously I didn't do it for a long time because of that reason. At the same time, I've
Yeah,
always been interested in property. So I'm gonna at some point I'm gonna look at some places, but I'll be looking at a 3 bed possibility. But I'm gonna be looking at, can I convert it into a 4 or 5? So I'm
hmm,
gonna be looking at a minimum 5 bedroom. So when you look at a website, for example, you go, right, looks lovely, but what can I do with it?
yeah,
How can I enhance it to be better or the same quality?
yeah. I know what you mean. I mean, I have to say though that I don't like the interior of our house. The only reason why I'm not changing it is because I feel like I need to wait 4 or 5 years until we know exactly what we need to do with our heating. Because everyone
Mm.
says you should use this, you should use that. We don't exactly know what we should use. So I feel like if I'm going to do it, I'd rather rip up the walls and all the pipe work when I know
What's
what to do.
your energy rating? A C or a D?
Oh, I think I'm on the C at the moment.
That's right. That's right.
Last time we changed the boiler was 11 years ago, and I think the electrics need redoing anyway, but we've got a we've got a new boiler, but the heating pipes in the walls, and sorry everyone, you're probably wondering what the heck we're talking about, but the inside the walls, the house was built in 1973 and it still has the 10 mil pipes. Now the standard is 20 mil, and even if you go to the new heating insulation stuff, the 20 mils don't even cut it. So I'm like, if I'm going to spend money, I might as well wait. Now, Pickstar has asked a really interesting question. He goes, what defines site quality for you? I'll start and I'll let Jonathan go with it. Mine is to do with the flow and can I get from A to B quickly without having to go through loads and loads of pages. So if it is like really, really busy and I'm failing to understand why, the quality for me drops down. I need to kind of go onto a website and kind of go, even you know, even if I ignore the hero banner and I ignore other stuff, can I go, yeah, I know where to go to contact them. I know where to go to find out more about their services. I know where to go for prices. And I'll give you an example. I reached out to a company that does wall slats, and they've got a really swish looking website, really swish, really nice images flying in. I go to the pricing page. I scroll, get to the bottom, there's no pricing. I then scroll back up, and somewhere in the middle, and all of the font was font 15, somewhere in the middle it says, we charge £300 for da da da. That's not pricing because it's not broken down by the type of wall slats, not broken down by what is it for the height or the width. That was it. So it felt like I'm going to really convince you. So for me it's about, is it Jonathan, do you want to any opinion on that?
See, person, it's like I'll probably go back to your Facebook group when someone posted about their certain group, that blue and that very. They had a massive logo top left corner. It just didn't make sense, and it wasn't all in one content. Didn't want it one line.
Oh
And
yeah,
I scrolled right down. I was going, "What is this?
what's the
What
point?
is this site about?" I didn't understand it all. And then
Yeah,
I had to go to product. I was like, "Oh, is it a product page? Oh, okay. What is it selling? Oh, it's Kyle. I'm confused. I was so confused by the site. Honestly, I was so confused. Like if it's like when it's short, sweet, straight to the point. If it's bold, keep the same family and or font, and then work your way down. Otherwise, you just overcrank. Like people go to site and they literally scroll straight down. They
Yeah.
look and you're going to describe something, very short sentence and a picture,
Yeah.
straight bold, straight to the point. Because otherwise, unless you're going to just be like e-commerce for a site, for example, you have a look a little bit at the top. You have a little bar, little drop down menu, couple of pictures, and then drop down a couple more pictures. Click, click, click. They want
Yeah.
to just jump to. No one sticks to the homepage because people chat so much on the homepage. And the
Exactly.
problem is, people don't stay on homepage.
No, they don't.
That's
I
the
mean,
problem.
it's the worst thing for me is, and I know some of the people on the live chat will disagree with this, is that sales pages. So there's this common practice for if you were to screenshot the entire sales page for some people, it would become a thin line because they are so long from start to finish.
Oh, cut caption. I don't
Yeah,
want you
and I hate that because I just feel like it sounds to me like you are now desperate to sell. You are trying, like every 3 or 4 sections there's reviews, they keep going on, and I start to lose trust and faith in it because I feel like the very first set of reviews you did here should have been enough. The fact that you're now doing more and more, it then just starts to feel like no, it's just overkill.
It's like a funnel.
Yeah, it's like a funnel, but it's like
overkill.
but I'll tell you what it's like, okay? So right now there's loads of people on YouTube Shorts. I don't know why I held up my phone, but there's YouTube Shorts and TikTok. Yeah. And what they do. Oh, John, you're back. John's back. John's back. We got John back. Here we go, John. So I was just saying that on YouTube Shorts and TikTok, I'm not going to name them in case, because I feel like they've probably got enough money to come after me. But they call themselves. I'm gonna try and use an analogy here. They call themselves. I'm trying to think of a way to do it without getting in trouble here. The most popular web designer, the global web designer. They give themselves these fancy names, and I very much doubt that they are as popular as what they make out. And every video they put out, they go, I used to charge £100 for a website. Now I charge 10,000. And there is one that is killing it. Yeah, Jonathan might be back. There is one that is killing it on TikTok at the minute, because every time they do that, they are getting by the way, Pickstar, you're not spamming, mate. All right, you're not spamming, and your comments are there, mate. So don't you worry. And I think people are joining in, so you're not spamming. But what they're doing is they're putting out these messages, and people believe them. Now they might be true, but what really winds me up here is, where is the evidence? They've never ever put a video on of them actually building a website. They've never shown one of their clients. When I do go to their website just to have a sneak, what they've shown, they're not even using WordPress. They're using things like Show It, which are a template builder. And you can clearly tell the templates are very similar to where some people have got the Astra storefront template. They've stuck that on, and then they've said, yeah, I've built a website. Like, I remember some people, they were advertising, I've built this website, but hadn't even changed the logo or the wording or the images. It was literally the Stormwind, I think it's called, from Astra. Stormwind, Stormfront, something like that. And on social media right now, that there's so many people that are faking it to make it. And I could happily share the websites we've built, or reviews and testimonials, but I really hate the way people go, hey, I'm an amazing web designer. I make loads of money. Come and buy my course. Their intention is for you to go and buy their course, which...
But surely there's one thing that I think is relevant here. You shared a video on Social Blade some time ago.
Yeah.
And if you look at Social Blade, it provides a lot of information about the usage of those videos.
Yeah.
It also shows us the number of comments, the number of likes, and all this key information. So don't just go by what somebody's saying. Go by what the retention is and how many people are returning. If you look at this group has grown significantly in the last year.
Yeah.
I remember a year or so back. Go by what's growing, not by what people say they are.
Consistency.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. When I started that Facebook group, I was a little bit worried about, am I going to be able to still be involved in it, in and out with everything else? And luckily I have. I was also worried about, well, we already have like, WP Tuts, we have the Global Elemental group, there's Bricks group, there's so many groups. Jeffrey's got his own group, but I've been so pleased to see they've all joined in as well. And I think that's been great. And they chip in the question answering as well. So we have, and that's also the other reason why anyone watching who's joined the Elemental website course, what I've said is if you're struggling or you have a question, don't just email me, which is what some people do. Put it on the group. And that's not because I'm saying, oh, it's not my problem. It's because there are so many people there. My answer is my interpretation and how I would do it. Jonathan and John will have a completely different one. Dave Den will have an amazing solution that I've not even thought about. He always comes up with these amazing ideas. So yeah, and Mia says, being authentic is key. Absolutely. And yeah, for as long as I continue doing the videos and running the groups, that's my intention. And if I find a new way or a new solution, for instance, by the way, you're probably going to get you must know by now that I jump from topic to topic just like that.
I
But
do it all the time.
I know. So we use Active Campaign for our newsletters and our mailing. So our main Web Squadron website, we have a subscribe bit, it's Active Campaign. Because I have a completely different website for the courses now, for the Elemental website course, we had so many people that have purchased. I wanted to send them a special newsletter. Now, Active Campaign is quite expensive. MailChimp, the price starts to shoot up. MailerLite, the price starts to shoot up. There's a video coming out on Friday where I'm now using Sender.net. I can have 2,500 subscribers for free. I can send 15,000 emails a month. That doesn't mean 15,000 emails per user. It means if let's say I've got 1,000 subscribers, I could send them 15 emails a month. So it's the number of subscribers, it's your threshold divided by your subs. But I explained that in the video. So I've now got a really free solution, which if I exceed 1,000, one day we will on that list, I hope. Probably tonight. No, one day we will.
You hope.
I know. Yeah. I don't have to worry about, now I've got to start paying, because I know you shouldn't be afraid to pay premium where you have to, but sometimes I get a little bit wound up so just because we've gone from 500 to 1,000, you have to now pay when it's just email. It's just, at the end of the day, that email provider, MailChimp, MailerLite, are not paying the email provider, if that makes sense. They're not paying for the bandwidth. They're just pushing it out in a way. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
so
you have to.
But Sender.net, and I have got a video coming out on Friday. It is so easy to build. It's like working with Elemental. If anyone's ever used Sender.net or not, go and use it. It's free. There's no affiliate links here. It's literally when you're building your template for what you're going to send out, you go, I'll drop a header, I'll drop it. It's like working with Elemental. It's that quick and easy. So if anyone...
Oh, wow. So you can actually make your drop in like Elemental, but make an email like Elemental to send?
Yeah, well, it's... I better say that right. So what happens is you create a group, and in that group you can import an Excel list of your subs. You can add them in manually. The really cool bit is that, let's say every week, on WooCommerce, you can get a download of all of your customers. So you go to WooCommerce customers and it says download, and it downloads it. So I've imported it. Now, next week, hopefully we'll have had more sales. I will now have more customers, but I'll just download the same customer list and I'll re-import it. But automatically, within seconds, Sender.net chucks out the duplicates.
You're on about downloads as what's it called?
CSV.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it downloads it. I say Excel, but it's a CSV file. Yeah.
I was speaking Excel. I had green in my head.
Yeah. Go on, John.
Just as a word of warning, if I may just add this in, I've had a client who has, on a fairly low usage site, they thought they could use a very small site size wise. They've just had to go up to cloud because they were putting out loads and loads of emails,
Right.
and they were finding they were using a large log file, and they were also using quite
Yeah.
a bit of width from that. So you may not be able to do it if you're on a £2.50 a month hosting package.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest though, even though I I will only send out an update probably once a week on the Monday. But I agree with what John is saying that if you have clients that are going to send out like an email every day, then yeah, your provider or someone is going to go, whoa, hold on. Because it's like the old days where companies used to spam every hour. They'd send out, round the world emails. But yeah, Friendly Girl's just got a question there. She goes, if you use an icon for blue sky on a website, what do you use? I'm a bit clueless as there is not. Oh, right. Right. Okay. So there's been a few times where I've wanted to use an icon and I can't find one. Like there isn't an SVG out there. So what I do is I will either go to the website or somewhere, grab the logo, go to Canva, get it to be the size I want it to be, and then just download it as an SVG. It's the simplest way to do it, and you can do it for free. You can just download as an SVG. So if there's something you can't find, either create it yourself, or find it somewhere and use it. Now back to sender.net. Just to clarify, once you've like imported your list and you can keep adding it every week and it will get rid of the duplicates, then there's a button, and I show this in the video. You create a campaign, and then the campaign is literally like, what's your subject title? And then you create now, what are you going to say? So anyone who's bought the course, you would have got an email from me this morning, and it would have been like a header, a logo, header, text, image, text, social sharing icons, whatever you want, hyperlinks. But it is so slick and easy. I enjoyed it. I don't enjoy using MailChimp or MailerLite. An active campaign gets on my nerves. We've got it, but it really gets on my nerves. If anyone's ever used it, you feel like you do this and then you go back and then you do something else. And it was great. It was so slick and easy. And I think while it's free for 2,500 subs, in fact, even if you have more, the pricing ladder is nice. Whereas with Active Campaign, the minute you go over 1,000 subs, you're looking at about $49 a month. That's extortionate, in my opinion, just for dropping out emails. I don't like that. I'm just gonna just double check something. So Friendly Girl goes,
I was going to.
yeah, Friendly Girl, did that answer your question? Oh no, she says it didn't. So she goes, I tried that, but they have multiple ones and nothing is working. Oh no. What's the name? What is the
That's
name?
a Canvas
Did
special.
you say it was Blue Sky? Isn't
Yes,
Blue
she did.
Sky
Blue Sky.
now? There's multiple Blue
So
Skies here. Is this Blue Sky Education?
there is a button. There is a Blue Sky button that was used quite a lot during lockdown for setting up meetings. Is that the one she's talking about?
Not sure. I mean, I'm just gonna do a quick. We are talking about the Blue Sky Education, aren't we? With the cloud. Is
I
that the
think
one we
so.
mean? I think
Yeah,
so.
the one that you used to be able to embed it. You used to be able to embed it into a website.
Hmm. Because if this was me and you've got the cloud, I would just put the cloud as the favicon. I wouldn't have the word blue sky. Blue sky logo makes sense on a page. But if it's a favicon, it's okay just to have the cloud with the blue background. I mean, that's what I would do. You don't have to have, because to be honest, we've all been there, right? Where for our clients, we've gone and put their logo as the favicon. But to be honest, you cannot make it out. When you stare at it, unless it's very clear and it's only like 2 or 3 letters, you can't always tell the wording. It gets lost in the imagery. So
Hmm.
I would just go for a cloud. Yeah. So Friendly Girl, so she's clarified. I would just go for the cloud. Hey George, how you doing? By the way, I love like how we all just keep connecting with one another. But
It's
yeah,
like a big family, but you want to blame. So some point, I reckon we should set up like a networking event, and we can all just try and get to to a location.
well, you
Really
know
good.
what? You know what? You're both in the UK, and I heard in April there was going to be a WordCamp UK, and it was going to be in London in September. And then there was radio silence. And then at the beginning of September, they went and said, "We're not doing it now. We've not had
I
enough."
reckon you should do it.
Well, well, okay, I'll tell you where I'm going with this. They didn't have enough sponsorship. So basically, you got to get money in sponsorship to help pay for the venue, for food, maybe, things and binges.
Cost us down the road somewhere, innit?
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. I kept thinking about, I think some people go to town on it because like you wouldn't really like want to replicate, say, like WordCamp Europe or WordCamp US, where they have proper big venues and big areas. And I'm like, it has been on my mind. And I think that if I was to kind of arrange, I'm not saying I am, but if I was to put my head together and think of something, I bet I could probably get Paul and Dave Foy and a few others that are in the UK to attend as well. And I think potentially Atarim, I could even be really cheeky and get GoDaddy to sponsor it.
That would be funny.
We'd have to let them
Oh,
speak,
come
right?
on.
That would be quite
I
hilarious,
think
wouldn't it?
you need to get in contact with Verdi and get him
Well,
to
Just remember,
encourage Elementor.
it's my idea, so
no,
I'll
I
take
know,
a bit of credit there.
no, but you see, I think you can probably understand that when it comes to pricing, I'm not out there to like fleece people off money all the time. I like to be. If you're a client, that's a different matter. We have to we have to work within parameters with clients. But even if I was going to do an event, I would want to try and do something that was like over a day or two, but you have the option to come for one day or two. So if people wanted to get together in the evening, so you don't just come for the event and shoot off. If you wanted to stay and have a laugh, if you could or not. But if I was going to hold anything like that, I would want to keep the pricing below 30 quid. I would want to make it be something whereby, because in the UK, we've got to be honest, I know we could go Europe, I know we could go to those events, but time-wise and traveling, it doesn't always work out. And I'm so shocked that we still don't have, ever since the lockdown, we still don't have a proper WordCamp UK. I don't get it.
I reckon she'll come down to Kent because it's just up my street.
I know. Well, most likely, if we were going to arrange something, if ever it happened, it would have to be around the London area in terms of travel wise. It'd have to be kind of like, what's going to be a simple, easy, a relatively okay location. And that's where I might say, actually, we won't do the overnight because then the prices are going to shoot up. And that's not fair on everyone. But there was an event last week, I think it was last week, in Whitley Bay, which is near Newcastle. So there was a WordCamp event and a few people attended it. Atarim went to it. A few people did go. It was a one-day event. There weren't many speakers. But the trouble is, though, you put an event all the way up in Newcastle. I don't mean to be funny, but not everyone is going to travel all the way up to Newcastle just to go for like a 6-hour event. And also you've got to have like a pull. You've got to pull people in like with like speakers and stuff like that. So yeah. So answer the question, Jonathan. It has been on my mind. Difficult to plan out because of everything else I got on, but it has been on my mind. But I'm hoping that what I would love is if just someone else does it. They create an event and then I can go and attend and maybe do a talk or a webinar, a workshop or something. Because when I used to work in the NHS, I used to organize events for like about 300 staff. We'd have one every quarter. And believe me, I used to lose sleep over sorting out tickets and venue and then food, and it was but
Imran,
I mean, what's your feelings about
Imran,
yeah
Imran. I would suggest that we actually ask the group here and put it on the forum who would like to actually get involved. Get a group of us who actually want to actually help put it together, and then go for it. And
Yeah,
then, just see what happens rather than you worrying about it. We could have you as a guest speaker in Leicester. How's that?
that yeah, I could just like that would be actually quite hilarious, wouldn't it? I could just like uh attend a
The only
workshop via
the
a
only
live
thing
stream.
is, Imran, the only thing is, I'm sorry, but we'd have to have the wing commander there as well.
Yeah,
Your son.
absolutely. Yeah, well, I am going to put more thought into it, but I really hope that at some point something happens with WordCamp UK because I feel like we miss out on so much. Like, I've been asked a couple of times this year and last year, you got to come to the Europe one. You've got to come. It's a bit like, okay, I'll let you into a secret, and I got to be very careful if I say this little secret. So,
Ooh.
Elemental are planning something in November, and they have given me an invite. They've invited quite a few people. It's in Berlin. My problem is this. I struggle to take time off. I really, really do. And I just feel like, do I really want to go to Berlin for a couple of days or whatever?
That's a bit of a distance from us, isn't it?
I mean, it's not too bad. It's not too bad, but it's just like it's just like
Is
like like um like
Holiday expense,
yeah. I mean,
get rid of a bit of holiday event. That's what you want to do.
well, yeah. I mean, it's like if it was so.
It'll work.
Yeah, I mean,
East Midlands Airport.
it is, yeah, East Midlands Airport, you can get a flight from there. It's just with me, it's like I tend to do like the drop-offs for my son. So I drop him off school, I pick him up, get on with work, there's emails, there's always something going on. Like I like so
I'm a full-time dad, 5 days a week. I understand, mate.
I know, and like it becomes difficult. And I'm like and of course you got to pay for your own flights and accommodation. And I'm like, there's a difference between invite and there's a difference between
Yeah.
between paid invite. So I'm not saying. But by the way, there are other influencers as well who've been invited. We all agree we're not going to pay out our own back pocket just to attend an event. Which, no disrespect, but what's the benefit? I mean, what is the ultimate benefit for us? It's more of a benefit to them if we go in a way. So, but they are planning something, I think, some sort of elemental day.
Oh, little question, because obviously I come across you. I think our very first come the videos was WD as Paul. I forget his name. Double P something tits or something. And then I come across
Paul,
you.
WP Tuts, yeah, Paul.
That's it. And then who started first, you or him?
What, the
You
live chats?
no, literally doing what you're doing. Who started first? Like,
Oh, okay, yeah. So, well, he was
you
doing
do
live.
talk a lot. A lot of your videos, like quite early stage, you choose to talk a lot. Now you don't really see it a lot anymore.
Yeah, so he used to do live chats. I used to do live chats, and then we started doing them together. The reason we dropped them off is mainly because we always found that time-wise, that there weren't a lot of people jumping in to see them. But also, I've been really busy with stuff, and he's been really busy with stuff. There's always talks between him and me. I can tell you now. Okay, all right. I am part of a secret group. Okay, and in that group, there's me, Paul, Dave Foy, Jeffrey, Wiki Design, so Mark Crowell, Jamie, who does a lot of the Gutenberg stuff. Have I missed anyone?
That Pixie guy.
Oh,
Who does-
Reno. No, no, no. Oh, I'll come on to that separate as well. I'll come on to that one separate. And Jonathan, who used to do a lot of Oxygen stuff. And Kyle from the admin bar. So we do have our own little secret group, and we talk a lot, and we're always saying it. Wouldn't it be great if we one day did a live chat with like 6 or 7 of us? And we keep planning it and then it doesn't happen. So one day they will happen time-wise. There's always like Jeffrey's got a course, I've got a course, Paul's just launched his Figma.
Very
So
expensive. I noticed that 147. I was like, wow.
yeah, I mean, I think he covers Figma to WordPress, Figma to Figma to Elementor, Figma to Gutenberg, Figma to Bricks. So he covers off quite if you're really into Figma. But in terms of
I'm
living
going
with
to get off,
Pixels
guys.
Reno,
I'll speak to you.
I am again part of another little secret group with me, Paul, Reno, and Ferdy. So we also talk as well behind the scenes. But it's great. So just to put it out there, there is none of this like like backbiting hatred. We do call out. There are some people we don't like their style, and we are happily call them out because we feel like they are misleading or they are paid to do something in a way. So there's one person who
You're right, Paul.
oh sorry.
I'm off. Have a great session, folks. It's been great to be on with you.
No problems, John. Great to have you here. You take care. So there are some people out there where they've put out videos where they've said like you must use these plugins, and then they go and say Nitro Pack, or they promote an optimization tool, and you can clearly tell
They're
they must be
promoting.
paid to
They
do
make
that.
money by their
Yeah,
being sponsored. Yeah.
yeah, they are. Yeah, and you
Sell
don't.
yourself.
Yeah, I mean, you don't see many sponsored videos coming from me.
No.
That's mainly because I actually turn quite a few people down. So I'll tell you now, Hostinger were on my back to do videos for them. And I kept telling them, I don't like what. Now, I know some people out there use Hostinger, but I was
I've
not.
got it. It's just at the time it's cheaper for me to take it on.
Yeah,
And I'm coming to the end of the year. I think it's like the renew. My main one's about £100, and then my other one's about a tenner,
yeah.
something like that. It's just I wanted to code. I wanted to com and UK because it's to one site. It just makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, Hostinger are okay. It's just I didn't like their style, and I didn't like how they wanted me to do all these stuff for them. And I do charge for it. So I tell them, here's what the charge will be. So it's going to take me 2 or 3 hours to do. So here's the charge. And what I didn't like was, and I'm being really frank with everyone here, is what they say is, no, we're not going to pay that. We'll give you an affiliate link. And what I keep telling them is affiliate links are not guaranteed. You know, they claim they get 15,000 signups a day. And then I go, well, why do you need me then? If you're getting 15,000 signups a day, you don't need me. Okay.
That's a lot of money.
I don't think they do.
Nah.
I really don't believe they get that many signups a day. I find that a little bit far fetched. And I
If
did
they're
say,
chucking it at you, I'll be going. Oh, if that's the case, prove it, and I'll consider it.
well, no, what I said to them is that's fine. Now, I said, okay, so let's assume they all sign up for your lowest package. You're making X a day. You pay me 5% of that. And they wouldn't. And I went, well, your theory doesn't stand up then. And that's something I have said to some people as well, where they have said like, oh, we make loads of money as a e-commerce. If you build our website, we'll give you like 10%. And I'm like, okay, so I'm like, okay, but why don't you just pay me the full 100% of what I want then? Because if you've been running for so long, you've got that capital in there then. And then they start talking about gross profit and net profit. And I go, right. Anyway, I don't want to go into it, but then I then challenged them quite a bit on that. But have you ever had that? Has anyone ever said to you, build a website, we won't pay you, but when we start to make money, we'll pay you a percentage of that? Has anyone ever said that to you?
Not website, but other life stuff. Yeah, if that makes sense. Other stuff in life. So I agree what you're saying.
Now, Friendly Girl mentioned Upnote. I've heard of Upnote. I've never had the chance to actually go in and look at it. What would you say? I mean, Pickstar says it's similar to Notion, and a lot of people love using Notion as well. But I might have a look at Upnote. I might have a look at it. I'm one of those people where so some people say to me, how do you keep on top of everything? I have an Excel spreadsheet, but also my daily task list, I just use notes. So my notes, I open it up and I literally just have a list of things I want to get done with the checklist. And I have a little basic rubbish table which says Monday to Sunday. I have a column for videos, a column for admin, and a column for other, and I just stick things in. And I often find,
I
yeah, I
write.
mean,
You can't see on camera. I've got two massive whiteboards where my computer station is,
yeah,
and I write a little list, and then I'll just tick them. If I don't write a list, I don't get my chores done.
yeah,
I'm like, right, I've got to do the washing up. Right, tick, washing, tick. If you get
yeah.
my drift, I have to have a list. Otherwise, I'm like, I was going to do something. Well, what was it? Otherwise, I'll start with one job, and I'll go on to about 10 other jobs, we're doing one.
I
Apparently,
used,
apparently it's called ADHD, but I've never been diagnosed.
no, but I used to have a whiteboard over here, a magnetic one. It was quite big, so I would write on it. I would like stick stuff on it, whatever. I've moved on to notes now, mainly because I can access it on my machine, or if I'm on my laptop in another room, they're synchronized, you see, or on my phone. So it was easier than me looking at the board. But yeah, I used to love using my board a lot. But it is a great way to just keep on top of stuff. And I I like to know when I wake up what is my agenda for today.
It's more
When,
structure of life
yeah.
because it's your structure. Without structure, you don't know what you're doing.
Well, my son he's diagnosed. He's 8 years old. He's diagnosed with ADHD in March. He's taking meds for that, and they're working a treat. The school have seen a massive transformation in his concentration, his focus. He just gets on with things. And the thing that me and my wife argue about a lot is I keep telling her, you've got to give him structure. You've got to tell him that when you wake up, this is what you're going to do. Or when,
Repetition.
or when he comes home from school, I'll be like, right, you're now going to do your reading and your homework or whatever. Then you get to have a snack. Then you can play on your computer. I mean, I will tell him an hour before 6 p.m., right, 6 p.m., we're going to have dinner. 5 minutes before that, I tell him again. And when he knows he's fine, it's when like I've made the mistake or my wife says, right, we're going to do X. And it throws him because he's like, whoa. And
That's like my little girl. It's like
yeah,
I get up. My little girl leaves about by 7:15 in the morning. So long story short, she goes to a specialist school and she gets picked up in the morning. So I get up between 6 and 6:15. I get up at 6, get all the uniform ready. 6:15, I get her up, and then I get her breakfast ready. She gets up, sits down, go to her, look, right, you've got until 6:50. There's just like alarm goes off. And if
yeah,
you don't had your breakfast, that's it, I'm taking it off you. It'll get closer and closer. Right, you've got 5, 4, 3, 2, then it gets to it. And by the time it's 7 o'clock, it's right, your teeth get etc.
yeah.
etc. And the thing is, she knows that, and then when she gets home, she knows she can have a little play, and then dinner will be ready soon. It's structure. If you take one of the structures out, it throws her, completely throws her.
Well, the only reason I'm laughing is because so normally like Sunday mornings, my wife goes to work Sunday. So Sunday morning, he's with me early in the morning and he gets up and within the first 10 minutes, he will have had his breakfast. He's quite quick. You know, when he's spoken, he gets his breakfast done. He'll have washed, he'll have brushed his teeth, he'll have changed his clothes. When he's with my wife, he will get up. An hour, 15 minutes has gone and he's now going upstairs to wash or whatever because there's no like it's too easy going. And that's when now we're close to, oh, you got to get to school, or you've not done this, you've not done that. He gets a bit angry and irritated. And she just doesn't like, it's like when he gets home from school, like I said, within 10 minutes, he'll have done all of his reading, his homework, he'll have had his snack, he'll have changed his clothes. If I'm not here and I'm on a live chat, I'll come out and an hour's gone since he's got home. He's still wearing his uniform, he's not done his homework, he's sat at his computer. So I'm very anal on the whole
Yeah,
the
yeah.
structure side of things. It
It's
keeps
like
him in
my
check.
little girl knows as soon as she comes home, she don't get changed. That's it, right?
No computer.
You're not going to get a new tablet. You're not going to
Exactly.
play nothing, and
Exactly.
that's it. And
That's
she's got a bit of she's got learning delay, but
okay.
I have to push and push and push. But some people know exactly how she works, and some people don't. I can't talk too personal, but when
No,
she
yeah.
when she sees certain people, it completely throws us. When she comes back to me, I'm like, oh, let's go back, go one forward, go back 5, get my
Yeah.
gist. So I understand that. Yeah, complete like on a website, like when you build a website, I'm very much like you. I
Yeah.
get a pen and paper and I do it by sketch. Loads of people, I try different ways, but I find pen and paper is the best way. You can scribble it out, put a little like head up, maybe like that, maybe not like, and you go, now don't scrap it, let's do it all over again. I like structure. I like it a certain way.
Hmm.
That makes sense, and I like to think. And if I'm going to be somewhere and I'm going to be there, I expect someone to be there when I'm going to be there, or at least 5 minutes early. That makes sense.
That does, yeah. I mean, I'm a stickler for doing that. I would rather know I'm there and wait than panic. Because even I start to panic when I know I'm late. Oh my God, I'm going to miss out. Or I'm going to be the one who walks into a packed room and everyone's going to look at me. I like to just, you know, even though I do a lot of live chats and some people say, oh, you talk a lot and you're loud and you're extrovert. I am actually more of an introvert at heart. I'm more of the person where if I go into a meeting where I don't really know people,
You
I
stay quiet.
yeah, I'm on the border of the room, weaving my way in and just trying to find maybe someone I know or something like that. But yeah, but yeah, I'm more of an introvert. I'm more of a quiet person kind of thing. By the way, if anyone else does want to join the live chats, I've just popped the link on there. Please feel free to jump on. And don't forget, on Saturday, the 25% offer on the course ends. So if anyone contacts me after Saturday, you're not getting it. There will be a discount on Black Friday. Everyone does a Black Friday discount, but it ain't going to be 25%.
It
It
should be.
might not even be
It should be.
20.
I reckon it should be 10 for the sake of argument.
I might stretch to 15. I might go to 15. I'm still umming and ahhing about it at the moment, mainly because, right, I feel like I've priced it so low anyway. It's a bit like, because it's so low, whether you go to 10 or 15, it doesn't make that much difference. It's a bit like if you had $1,000 course, 10 and 15 is the difference between $100 or 150. That's a big discount.
Oh, you're referring to the 97
The
rule.
97, yeah. So because it's 97, 10% is only going to be like $9.7.
Yeah, I know I understand the 97. I know when you go 4997, you go 197, and you jump to
The one that, yeah,
497. You know what I'm on about.
yeah, I do. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
at some point the course will go back up to 197. I've not decided yet, mainly because I want to give as many people an opportunity to jump in, and hopefully, you would have seen it on the the Web Squadron Facebook group, the roadmap. So now you can see what changes are occurring. The fact that when you buy the course, it's not here you go, you got everything, you watched it all in a day. That's it.
I
You can
think
ask
some
questions.
people
That's it.
might be going, I've heard this before, but is it really going to go up?
Oh
Like, am I
no,
really going to get the package? People might be very sketchy. Maybe run it for an extra 2 weeks on top. Black Friday special, extra 2 weeks, 25% discount, then no more. Something like that. Extra special
yeah.
2 weeks on top.
Well, at the moment, what I'm pondering is that on Black Friday there'll be probably a 10 or 15% discount. So the 25% is over, and then after Black Friday, the cost goes up because there'll be by that point in time. I did a hero banner today, which I've now made available to anyone who's on the course. And it's what I call like a dynamic one. You can use it dynamically, and the video for it's coming out tomorrow. So if you watch the video and you like it, but you don't want to build it, that entire template with the images and everything is on the course. And I'm planning to do quite a few of them. It's not to compete with Skelemental, because Skelemental is just great for wireframes. But no disrespect again to Skelemental, but they are basic. They are wireframes, but they are basic as well. Let's not pretend they are overly complex. They're not complex. You could do them yourself. The templates I'm going to build are going to be what I like to call the I bet you didn't know you could do that kind of thing. This is
Yes.
now like something different. I tell you what, tomorrow's video I think will surprise some people. It
What I
might not.
quite, what I quite like, I don't know. I think I was looking at your list. It said about sidebar.
Yeah,
And on some e-commerce sites, you tap on the either left or right side, and instead of having anything on the top, it pops up,
yeah,
and
the
you can.
pop-up canvas. Yeah.
Yeah, I quite like that, and I think I've not tested it, but I'm gonna guess it's a little quicker for page speed if you got instead of having anything at the top, because if it's like anything you sell, and you know when you go onto Google and you get a little tap on the phone and it all
Yeah,
comes out, it's really cool. So if you
yeah.
could put that into e-commerce on your site, I'm going to guess that's a lot quicker than have it
It is.
static, and because it's dynamic, it'd be quicker. I'm going to assume.
Well, it's not just that. It's like it would be quicker, but also you can show more. So let's say your menu comes out. You could have a video in there as well. You could have further images. You could have like you could have your subscribe and your social. So on your header, you don't show your social sharing icons, but when they hit the menu thing and it comes in down here now at the bottom, you can have your subscribe, your social sharing icons, a bit more about you. There's so much more you can do, and that will be covered as well. So the sidebar is going to be just a sidebar, because if you're using Hello, you don't get that widget within Elementor or the Hello theme. But the sidebar, the off canvas, that's going to be I think that's part of the pop-ups, the pop-up module. Now, even though I've said October, November, December, January, February, March, April, someone did contact me and I've said to them, I've done that to give myself breathing space. But if I can get the WooCommerce done in November, it'll come out early. At the moment, I think it's in for January. I think it might be in for January or one of those dates. But if I can get it done quicker, I will get it done quicker. But it's just so that what I don't want anyone to do is sit there going, "Oh, the WooCommerce is coming out next week." It ain't coming out next week. I've got clients, I've got other stuff on as well, so I've got to kind of balance off
Yes.
life and work
I
and
I saw a video before and someone done it, but the problem I was trying to it's so challenging because it was like containers and sections put together, and I'm going, that doesn't make sense.
no, I mean, I did a video showing that you could use them together, but that's only if you really need to. So if you've got a website built with sections and you want to add in a loop grid, then you could do that. But that's only where you're not going to take the time to rebuild it. I mean, if I'm honest, our original Web Squadron website is still in sections and columns because there's so many pages and stuff there. I can't be asked to change it. It's not a client, you see. It's just my website. I can't be
If
bothered.
it works and it don't need fixing, leave it. You had
Eh,
saying yeah,
Exactly.
it's the same thing.
Exactly. Until Elementals say, hey, if you've got sections, the next update is going to muck up your website, then you need to panic. But that's not going to happen. Elementor are not going to do that. Some people think they will. And I'm like, why would they? They've got over 10, 11 million websites. Why would they want to like stab you all in the back by now saying, oh, you've got to revisit the 1,000 websites you probably built in the
They'd
last.
lose so much money. They'd lose millions.
Oh, they would. They would. It would basically mean
Overnight.
they basically means that like let's say you've been using Elemental for 6 years now. Let's pretend you've built 100 websites a year. Are you now going to go over and rebuild 600 websites? Because your
No,
clients will turn around and go, I'm not paying. You got to fix it. It's not my problem, you know.
definitely.
And so the loss of income would be absolutely tragic. Right, we have been live for 1 hour 3 minutes. So I am now going to let you go, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Right, go grab something to eat or not, or go get on with something. And I'm now going to crack on with some work. Sorry, Alex, just to let you know, though, some people have joined in a little late. Hey, Alex. By the way, Alex, if you ever in future, and this is to everyone, if you ever want to join the live chats now, you can join them. So Tao, Kangas, hope you're all right. So from now, when we do the live chats, it won't just be me. If you want to join in and we just want to talk about your life, work, websites, help answer questions, you're all happy to come along. All I ask is that you have a decent camera and you're able to talk, and that's all. And if you're going to use are you using your phone, Grandpets? Jonathan
Yeah,
said.
I'm using it's John Grandpets, whatever. I'm using a S20 S20 5 plus 5G.
Yeah, there you go. So he's just on his mobile phone. So if you want to do that and you got a tripod or something, it's absolutely fine. You don't have to be at your desk. I mean, John Ferris was in his car. Jonathan is on his sofa, I'm pretty sure, in his lounge. Hey, Mark Harris, I'm about to shoot off now. I'm about to shoot off, mainly because I've got other stuff to get on with. That's just how life works. Right,
Yeah.
everyone, I will be back tomorrow, but don't forget the Hey Artif, I'm about to go now. Why do all these people turn up now? Artif, Mark Harris, how dare you? I'm about to shoot off now, guys. But I will be back tomorrow. See you all soon. Take care.
Right, latest boy.
No problems, mate. Bye.